So yeah, I was just thinking about it. Like I looked it up to find out exactly what is going on with the Snap stuff. I'm not really curious about it. I was just wondering what kind of admin costs they had. And CBPP 2024 report lists fiscal year 2023 SNAP benefits administration at roughly 115 billion, and that was then. This is now like SNAP has increased apparently. Total spending by 6%. They say roughly 7 billion in state administrative costs. That's a lot of money. I don't think you understand how much money that is just for state administration. Federal administrative costs add another small fraction, typically around 0.85 to 0.8%, to about 600 to 900 million. So roughly 7.5 to 8 billion annually total in admin costs. That's like, I did a rough estimate, and assuming these people all have some kind of federal rating, because this is a federal department, it's the USDA, it's some kind of federal office. That's like 10,000 federal employees total across the country. That's like 5,000 a state. That seems quite exorbitant. That's not counting, like that's counting out of this total with building, electricity, heat, which is usually like up here in Wisconsin, it's natural gas. The internet connection, which is really just one fiber line goes to the whole building, and all this other stuff, all the supplies, the hardware they use, and everything. So that's roughly 10,000 people, including G13s with their property cards for the vehicles that they would have, their government credit cards, their accounts, and all the bookkeeping and all the taxation that goes on with it. So we're talking maybe 10,000-ish employees. I didn't look up how many employees yet because I want to see if I'm accurate on this guess. Or rather, it's not a guess, it's an educated estimate. We're going to ask how many people does SNAP employ. Oh. It doesn't want to have that conversation anymore. Okay, whatever. But I noticed that it's in the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Nutrition Service. This seems really weird to me for something that's supposed to be provided only to citizens. It seems like this could have been a part of the Social Security, since this is closer to being in Social Security's realm of expertise, not the USDA. I don't really know how to say that other than the USDA should not be dictating what is nutritional and funding. I just don't think it's in the purview of the USDA to manage a fund of this nature, especially one at 115 billion as of 2023, which that is not an insubstantial amount. The way it's structured, it's in between like a private equity firm and a prop trading firm or a mutual. With the way it's structured, it seems to be about 10% structured for funding, and private equity firms usually have about 5% as admin costs, and then the other 95% of the cost is just the money moving, and that's basically how they're structured. Mutual funds tend to be very similar, except they're usually closer to 20% on admin costs, or 10 to 20%. Some of them are down at 10% now. AI is fantastic, let me tell you. Software is getting a lot better. But so you have them around 10 to 20%, and the other 70-80% is, or 80 to 90%, excuse me, is the actual funding itself, which is fantastic. We're getting a lot better. We're getting a lot better at managing money these days than we were in the past. And just by examining this cursory externally, I haven't done any deep dive into how this spending is done. It just seems like this should be something in Social Security, the Department of Social Security, instead of the USDA, because first of all, the primary concern is, do these recipients fit the criteria, first of all, and Social Security is very, very consistent with doing that. They're already doing this. Like, Social Security Administration is already doing this job. It's a part of their duty and their Social Security Administration's job. Like, in the insurance and the benefit thing, the whole package thing, in order to rate people and review people based on income and mobility and disability, Social Security is already doing this. It makes no sense. I don't know who created SNAP. I think it was Reagan, maybe it was Clinton. I have no idea. I don't look it up. I don't care. This is not my field of expertise politically. I have nothing to do with this, but it seems to me that it should be in the Social Security office that this is done, not in the USDA. Not that I think the USDA doesn't deserve to get funded, because it seems to me that you're trying to get the USDA to do two jobs at once. And this job is not exactly the USDA's primary goal. Their primary goal is to ensure that the food that we put on our tables is up to nutritional guidelines and fits within the standard. And I understand that SNAP is supposed to be some kind of system where they provide healthy foods. Yeah, we're going to do that to you because you got annoyed by it. The point is, SNAP doesn't provide food. They don't deliver, they don't certify, they don't register. USDA does. They manage funds, which means they should be only managing funds. And if only managing funds is their job, and the funds get distributed based on a preset criteria that starts at citizenship, then the Social Security Administration is already doing that. So there's a simple rules engine that Social Security uses, which means they have a computer model that uses a bunch of rules to weed out people in applications that don't fit within those rules. And that's how they determine whether or not you qualify for anything. They enter the computer, yada, 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 enter your income level, enter this, enter that, and then if you qualify for it, they send it to you. Well, not necessarily, you have to go through some kind of application thing. You got to do a sit-down interview or something like that, I'm sure. I don't know, because I've never gone through and done it, because I've never needed it. Let other people get it instead of me, because I don't exactly need it. If I ever needed it, I'd be able to tell you, but I will tell you because I would tell you what it's like to go through it. But since the Social Security Administration does already manage this style of system where they offer payments to an account or a separate account, and they already do this rules type thing, and they already manage, whether or not you're a citizen within their system, and your medical records and all this other stuff, your income, stuff that the Social Security Administration already knows. It just seems like the SNAP and EBT program should really be moved over to the Social Security Administration's building, just to be able to streamline it, make it more efficient, and cut costs if we're going to continue having a SNAP program at all. Because it makes no sense to have this dual duty for the USDA. I'm sure they don't enjoy it. I'm sure the nutritionists don't go to the USDA. They don't do all that lab work and all that chem work to get their doctorates and their PhDs, and so they can manage a SNAP program. Just seems like not something that they're interested in doing, which is probably why they went into healthcare and nutrition instead of a Social Security office worker or a social worker. Not saying that these are professions that are lesser. I'm just saying a guy doesn't go and join the military and then become like a physicist, goes back and becomes a pilot because he doesn't want to go to NASA. He does it because he wants to go into NASA, because he wants to go into space. So you have to understand, men don't do things without a reason. I can't speak for women because I'm not a woman. I don't know if women do things without a reason. I can't speak for you. Feel free to chime up, of course. But the point being is move SNAP, move it. Get it back into the department that's supposed to manage citizenship in the first place, which is the Social Security Administration, and then make it a federal crime to hand out a falsified Social Security identity or a falsified citizenship, which would have punishment of like 20 or something years in Leavenworth or something. I don't think you can put civilians in Leavenworth, but you understand where it goes with this. Because then the punishment for committing fraud is much more, it's much more, it's like, you shouldn't be doing this. This is why you shouldn't be doing this. And again, that's just my personal view. I am America first. So anybody can have a different view than me. But I 100% believe that SNAP should be as a part of the Social Security Administration, not. I don't even know. It's USDS FNS, and it's managed by states. There should be a national level criteria by which people are qualified. It's not that difficult to do regional testing based on the income and the standard of living within an area to find out how much money living costs and how much food costs, because we already do it when we collect data on everything. We collect data on everything. We already know what most people's income is to the IRS or the Social Security Administration. And if we know that already, we can already just do a base level prediction of how much the food costs just by how much they spend on it. And that's not that difficult. These projections can be easily done by a computer in a few seconds. Why we haven't moved in that direction and we still do duplication copies in paper, and we have organizations that still require carbon paper.